Hi friends, happy Halloween. As you can tell, I don't just normally wear this. But in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about the proposal that I submitted to DevLearn when I wanted to speak at that conference. It got accepted, what I did in that proposal that I think worked for me, and then what you should focus on if you're interested in submitting a proposal for a conference. So let's get to it. All right, so for anyone who is interested in creating a speaking proposal for any sort of conference, this is the example of the one that I sent into DevLearn. I did get accepted. DevLearn just occurred last weekend, so I actually just already did my session. But this is the proposal that I sent in so that you can get some ideas or some inspiration about your own. So the first question is the type of session that I would like to do. I chose concurrent or stage session because I was not planning on conducting a workshop and I was not planning on asking anyone to specifically bring a device like a laptop or a tablet or anything like that. So stage session made the most sense for my topic. And because it was a stage session, I did not need to answer question number 2. That's only if you're doing a bring your own device session. Suggested title. So I read that it was really important to make your title very catchy, very buzzy, but also very accurate, because you don't want something that's too buzzy and then people come to your session and they realize that it's not at all what you were planning on talking about. So my title was, What Can Instructional Design Programs Learn from Michelin-Star Kitchens? And there is a character count for each of these. So make sure you are within that character count, otherwise your title could get cut off and it could not get approved, kind of thing. If you're using Google Docs like I am, you can go up to Tools and then Word Count. And so it tells me that I'm using 10 words, 73 characters, so I am definitely within that 75 maximum. I'm just going to keep this selected so that it can display here, and I can check that whenever I need to. Next is the topic that best describes the theme of my proposal. You can choose multiple ones here. My proposal wound up in the instructional design and management and strategy categories. You can choose up to 3. Try to be as accurate as possible, because sometimes we're like, oh yeah, it falls into all of these, because technically mine did. Mine actually went through every single one of these. But when you're looking at the core, bigger theme of your entire presentation, this is where it really fell. And then from that, narrow it down into one. What is actually the main theme that your session is going over? And this is how you're going to get categorized. So if your proposal gets accepted and you're going to be a speaker, you're going to get categorized under one of these sections, and that's how people are going to find your session. Next up is session description. So this one, max word count 150. I believe I was within that. 127, yep. So it's definitely within that. This is what conference attendees will actually read. So the session description and the actual what we're going to talk about breakdown. These are the two things that someone on the other end is actually going to read, and this is how they're going to make their decision of whether or not they want to come to your session. So again, you want to make it very buzzy, very marketing-ish. You want to really get people in, but do it in a way that's still going to be accurate to what you are actually presenting. So I immediately started off with creating an instructional design program is similar to running a Michelin-Star kitchen because of XYZ. Here are the things that make them similar, and here's the main problem statement that I'm trying to address. Growing in your career from an individual contributor to a program manager is really difficult when a lot of the resources are too theoretical. So for me, for example, I got my master's program a couple of years ago, but one of my biggest criticisms was that it was very theoretical, very conceptual, and there wasn't enough emphasis on the actual practical application. And so that was something that I had to learn on my own, not just how to develop one course or how to develop one learning experience, but how to do all of those concurrently in a program and roadmap it and plan for it. I did a lot of research. There actually wasn't a lot of information out there that wasn't gated behind some sort of coaching or membership or boot camp or something. So that's my problem statement, is for anyone who wants to upskill and become a program manager, chances are you don't have access to the resources that you need. So let's talk about getting you that access, getting you what you need to become world-class. And then everything was compared and through the lens of Michelin-Star chefs because they are also considered world-class. The next section is describe how the session will provide a solution. So this is the core of what you plan to talk about during your session. So in my session, I said that I wanted to talk about the 5 criteria that a restaurant goes through to earn a Michelin star and how those could directly translate into instructional design programs and in our world. So these are the 5 criteria. I list out a little bit of what exactly it means in the restaurant world and then what it means in the instructional design world. And then at the end, I say that you're going to leave this session with an appetite for upskilling and a chef-inspired outlook on how to design world-class programs. So I'm very consistent when I say that, yes, this is about world-class programs, but more specifically about how you as an individual are going to be able to upskill and become a world-class program designer. So everything is very user-centered in this description. And then from there, the last thing that they are really considering, both the proposal reviewers and the actual session attendees, is what they're going to take away. So what are they going to learn if they come to your session? So I put they were going to learn the criteria of expert instructional program design, and then each of these were from those 5 criteria. So for example, the first one, quality of ingredients. They're going to learn how to have a high quality and strong base foundation. Harmony of flavors, my learners are going to learn how to mix and match solutions. Specifics around building a new program, including strategic planning, road mapping, implementation, how to hone a style, how to maintain existing work. So those aligned with each of the 5 criteria that I was planning on talking about. And those were the key things that I made sure when I was building my presentation that somebody could walk away with. If they paid attention to nothing else, they could walk away with this information, the real tangible techniques, and these were their learning outcomes. From there, it's a little bit more technical information. So do you have any specific audio-visual requirements? Do you need the room set up in any particular way? Are you planning on using any sort of interaction game elements? I wound up doing a couple of like hand-raised surveys, a Q&A at the end. I also did a bit of a game activity in the middle, but that was still technically considered a polling survey because it was like a B, C, choose your favorite, and at the end we'll talk about it. And then beyond that, it's more logistical information. So when can you present? When can you not present? Enter your information. Are there any additional speakers? If you are accepted, what bio do you want to be shown? So this is about you. Like, hi, my name is Brooke. I'm a learning and enablement manager. I work at this company. I've been doing this for 7 years, and these are the things I love, kind of thing. You can put that there. So enter all the logistical information if it applies. But if not, I will say the main things that you should focus on when submitting a proposal for a conference are your problem statement, your solution, which in turn is how you're going to address that problem statement and what somebody is going to learn in your session, and then specifically what they are going to walk away with and what those learning outcomes are. So yeah. That is an overview of my DevLearn proposal that did get accepted. It took me about 3 months to get accepted. But once I found out that I was accepted, I began work on that presentation and all those interactions. And I have some videos up on my TikTok about how it went. It went great. And now I'm already working on my next presentation for the next conference.